I'm getting ready to make the calzones. I just was going to prep the veggies and going to slice some olives here. And need a can opener. Mom has three. This one is, I don't know how old. Based on the colors, 60s. It's a great can opener. It is Swing Away is who made it. Uh, the only thing is the wheel is wearing out, so it doesn't always cut well. Mom bought this one thinking to replace it. It's got too short of a handle. It works, but it's still, again, too short of a wheel. Mom bought this one. Problem with it is, uses batteries. She actually bought an electric that plugs into the wall when she had her vision issues, and she could never get it to work. I actually had a difficult time getting it to work. She ended up donating it to a thrift store. The funny thing is these cut around the edge instead of around the top, and this is a really cool opener because of that. And I noticed that we were at the store the other day, and they actually have them now that are cutting the ones that go on your counter and plug in instead of the battery. They have them that are similar type cutter to this on a counter. It's too bad that this just didn't have a recharge port, or Mom didn't have a bunch of rechargeable batteries, because this is a lot more convenient, the size of it. This one is a Tornado, by the way. DC 6 volt, 1.5 volt type A, AA batteries. I'm going to use old school technology. This one, Mom says when she got it, was expensive. I'm not exactly sure when she got it, but based on the colors, it's probably something from the 60s or 70s, or I have no idea. I need to find a jar. I'm going to put these in a jar because I don't think I'll use all of them. I'm going to planning to make 2 calzones, which are just a folded over pizza. And I got the dog at the door, and I got to find the jar. I've also got some mushrooms here. I'm going to use canned mushrooms because Mom has them, and her budget right now can't support going to the store. I think for meat, because she's got it, I'm going to brown some breakfast sausage. We'll just see what I can find. Well, I found the jar I was looking for. This is what Mom usually, or one like this that Mom usually puts pickles in. I think this was a salsa or something. And this one actually has beets in it at the moment. Speaking of beets, one of these days I might try a borscht. I've always wanted to try a borscht. And I actually saw someone doing it on a Native American channel that a friend of mine watches a lot. He's half Native American. Although it's Canadian American, I guess. Or Native Canadian. I guess not, unless you're going by the continent being North America, because it's based out of Canada, the channel, and I do not remember the name, or I would definitely give them a shout out. It's a very, I like the channel, and I got the wrong knife, or not the wrong knife, just not the knife that I had intended to. I'm just going to prep some veggies for this, because once I start making the dough, it's just putting it together. It's a really quick process, and it's always the prep that takes the most time, and this is the prep. I just had a thought, and I can't remember. Oh, sauce. I want to do a white sauce, not a red sauce. I have, for some reason, nothing gives me heartburn except red sauce. pizza, spaghetti, pasta. Mom's got this. I don't know where it's from. I think actually the dollar store. Classic Alfredo. That's a cheese sauce. It'll work. I don't need it to be a garlic white sauce. The Alfredo will work. I'm gonna prep veggies, and I'll probably speed this up or edit it out or whatever, depending on how I feel when I do the editing, which who knows when that'll be. I've still got a bunch to do. Just for a fun note, I don't know when this will be posted, but today's date, I believe, oh, I had it, 21st or 22nd of March, 21st of March, and unless I start posting more frequently, which would require a lot more editing, I'm not going to have this up till probably Thanksgiving. But I'm going to do veggies and not talk. This is going to be a mostly vegetarian pizza, and I don't want to cut a whole onion because I don't plan on using a whole lot, but I do want some. Because of the flavor, and because I forgot to save some of the mushroom juice, I'm going to use a little bit of the juice from these banana peppers that I'll be putting on the pizza, just to rehydrate these and add a little flavor to the onions. Kind of pickle them, I guess. They are just dried onion. Well, I put the pan on. I have the sausage. It's just some breakfast sausage. I've got it in the microwave defrosting. I had my batteries die again. I have been doing a lot of video and using my camera a lot, and today alone I've probably got an hour plus of footage. I'm gonna brown the sausage. It's just breakfast sausage, but I'm gonna do that. While that's going, I'm cleaning Mom's cupboard here, so forgive the mess. I've got most of the ingredients for the toppings. The onions are still hydrating, and I'll probably rinse them and just leave them in water here in a bit, because they're probably going to take on a lot of the pickle flavor if I don't. And if they do, oh well. I think once I get the sausage done, I'll have everything ready. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge for now. You can watch me brown the sausage. Probably speed it up if I do it. And we'll see what happens. It is only at this moment, if it's visible, 12:15. That's the current time. That's 12:15 in the early afternoon. I've already made an apple crisp. I'm getting all my toppings prepped for calzones, which I will be making later. I'll be using this to fold it. Using an Alfredo, a white sauce, and cheese sauce on it. I'm not sure. I don't know what else I'll do. Who knows? Between now and 5 or so this evening, when I make this, it could have a lot of variations and changes. This from my house. I'd already have the air conditioning on. The temperature is 72. The stovetop is on. The oven was on earlier. I've already been in a hot dish pan. The microwave has 15 seconds left defrosting the sausage. I've still got lunch, brunch, breakfast, I don't know, whatever I want to call it. But I'm going to get this sausage cooked. I'm going to cook it slow. I've got it on medium. This pan was well warmed because I turned it on before I put the sausage in the microwave, and I believe the microwave went for about 7 minutes. Here is the apple crisp. It's still a little bit warm, but it looks tasty. I'm just gonna brown this sausage. I'll drain it and put it in the fridge so it's cooked prior to being in the pizza. I prefer to use fresh vegetables, but when it comes to the meat, we'll cook it first. I'm not a fan of hamburger on pizza. Actually, I can eat a vegetarian pizza and be happy. This isn't only for me. Just a topping that a friend of mine introduced me to from Little Caesars. He got a bunch of one-topping pizzas to feed a group of people that helped him do some work. And one that I thought was amazing was an onion pizza. All it had was cheese, sauce, and onion, and it was really good. I do like meat. I just don't use it as much. Eggs, cheese, other things are my protein. I'm going to let this slowly brown. The burner's coming back on, or it's pulsing back on. I'm turning it down a little bit. I wanted to cook this slow. And I'm going to eat my partial sandwich. This is actually a small sausage, and I believe it came from the Dollar Tree. There's a guy that has a YouTube channel, and he critiques things from the Dollar Tree. All I can say is I've tried stuff that I've noticed my mom's husband watching him, and that he said not worth it. This was actually one that he said was worth it. That's actually why I got Mom to get it. I believe it's a 10 or 12 ounce package, and it's $1. It's got a little more fat, which is something that I want to save. I want to do a recipe using the drippings from this, the rendered fat. But that guy that does the stuff from the Dollar Tree, all I can say about it is that everybody has their own taste, because some of the stuff that he said wasn't worth it and was garbage, I didn't have a problem with. However, I have been extremely broke. I am at this point really broke. If it weren't for the fact that my mom is helping me, I would be in a lot of trouble. I'm helping her with her vision issues, and she has other health issues, and she's helping me because I have a hard time anymore even using my left arm since my heart attack. I have intense pain from doing just simple things. 2-pound thing of salt the other day, an already opened kilo of salt that I couldn't hold, reaching up at shoulder height to get it out of the cupboard, and it made a mess that I cleaned it up for all day. I'm going to let this continue to go. I think I've got everything ready except for I need to get out the recipe book for the crust. I'm going to do just the Bisquick cookbook for the crust on that. And like I said, it's not even 12:30 yet, and I've got everything pretty much prepped for dinner tonight. I'll help Mom get something for her husband and for herself and I as well this evening. And I'm going to finish my pickle and cheese on oat and fiber whole wheat bread. I'm going to let this continue to go, turn it down just a little more. I'll speed this video up if I leave it in. I want to actually brown this sausage, not just cook it. I like the flavor from having the color on the meat. It adds a lot of flavor, in my opinion, versus just having it cooked. I'm not going to lift this. I was thinking how much easier it would be if I could just lift this up and scoop it out of the pan. But I'm right-handed, so I'd be lifting the pan with my left hand to be able to control the turner with my right hand. Not going to happen. I do want these drippings, and I don't care what people say about fat. Fat is actually better for you than sweeteners. I also think eggs are essential. And it's funny, if you look at the nutrition facts on eggs or fish, which both have essential amino acids and minerals and nutrients that you need, they're both high in cholesterol. But just because they're high in cholesterol does not mean that your body transfers that cholesterol to cholesterol in your body. My mom actually had a doctor when she was a kid that says no matter how bad they say eggs are, you're better off eating them than losing your mind, because there are nutrients that are only in an egg yolk that help with mental capabilities, capacity, something, how your brain works. I'm going to, actually, this is a really cool pan. It's a little bit, I'm going to put a little bit of water in it and put it back on the burner for just a bit. And that will clean this pan, just because it is a wonderful pan. It's heavy. It's got a multi-core bottom. This fry pan used to have a handle on, so you could hold it with both hands, but it no longer does. I'm going to scrape this pan a little bit with the turner that I used. Look at that, already coming out. Where it browned on the bottom of the pan, it's already coming out. This is a great set of pans. We lived in Idaho at one point when I was growing up. Maybe someday I'll tell a story about that, but we moved a lot. And my dad bought these for my mom, and even back then, and this was eons ago, this was a $500 set. She's missing 2 lids this size. She also had a small fry pan that was this size that my dad got. Maybe she's only missing the fry pan and the 1 lid, but she's got an electric fry pan that's the same size as this. She's got a Dutch oven that's the same size, diameter, same size, but obviously deeper. She's got a deeper fry pan this size, as well as a smaller fry pan. But I've got a dog at the door. I've got the sausage draining in the sink. Well, this is the sausage. It actually drained quite nicely. I'm going to put that in a bowl. This is the drippings. There's actually probably about a 1/4 cup, maybe a 1/3 cup there. I wanted about a 1/4 cup. I'm going to put this into something. I might have to go out into my storage and get the crock that I have that Mom gave me that she used to use. I've got to wash the fry pan. Lot to do. I'll get back to it when I actually start putting the pizza together. Actually, I'm going to scrape that out. It's got a little more fat still on the metal there. And I got things to do, but we'll get back to the calzone pizza later. Well, I went out and found what I was looking for in storage, and that's this old cheese crock. I think it's a pint. Mom gave it to me. I put the drippings in it from the sausage, and growing up all my life, I remember there was this one and one or two others, smaller ones, the half pint, that sat on the counter next to the stove. And one always had bacon drippings, one was sausage, and if there was a third, it was hamburger drippings. I've always liked them. I always thought they were really cool, and Mom stopped using them, and so I inherited them, or I ended up with them. Since I'm doing this cooking, I decided I'd get it out and find a home for it here on Mom's, because I want to use those drippings for something actually in the near future. So this is going to find a home on Mom's counter. Maybe I'll find wherever she had her electric can opener and put it there. I love these. Actually, I went searching, early February. It's now mid-late March. This might be posted, like I said, Thanksgiving. But I went searching recently, and the only place I found these was, and I do not know how to pronounce the name, it's FIGI.com. Might not be an apostrophe S on that, on the web address, but Figgies, I don't know. But they've got them with the 8 ounce with crocks of cheese in them, and then the Wisconsin Cheese Man has them with a cheese spread in them as well. Or I believe that's what it's called. But they're not actually very easy to find. I know when I was a kid they were real popular. They used to do these for sourdough, all kinds of stuff. But that's that for now. Probably around 4:30 or 5 we'll get back to making the pizza, the calzones. To do that, I need to put the dishes away because this is the counter that I do stuff on. Just kind of a side note, while I was looking in storage, I found my measuring spoons. This is one of them. I washed it. And my measuring cups, well, there's the handle for one. They're under there. They go on these rings. I brought them in. I washed them. They were actually with my camping stuff, so they were dirty and need some attention. Just to show what I use personally, I've had them for a few years, and actually the last time I went camping was a couple years ago. But we'll get back later. I got out the Bisquick recipe book. I'm actually going to use the Bisquick for this. They have a cowboy pizza, barbecue chicken pizza, that uses sour cream and water. These are my measuring, and it's actually almost like a little pan. They're so heavy. It's got a 1 cup, a half cup, 1/3 cup, and a 1/4 cup. And then these are my measuring spoons, and they're also heavy. Same type handle. Tablespoon, teaspoon, 3/4 teaspoon, half teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon, 1/8 teaspoon. But those are my measuring, dry measure for the spoons and the cups. For this recipe, I like this particular one. It uses 2 cups of Bisquick, sour cream and hot water. So quarter cup sour cream, quarter cup hot water. I'm going to make 2. I'm not sure I'm going to do them both with this, but that's definitely going to happen for at least one of them. This, I'm not sure I've got enough Bisquick to do. I might have to use the quick mix, but also I found in Mom's fridge there's some crumbled feta. That might go on one of them.
No.
She says no, so
We were going to make that salad.
I guess we're going to make it into a salad.
With speech and grapes and mayonnaise.
There's 1 cup. Yeah, there might be another cup, but I don't think there's going to be a full 2 cups left. We'll see how it goes. There might be. I'm just going to toss that back in with it. Got the kettle on. It says hot water. I'm not going to boil it. Although it is boiling. These actually came from a neighbor. They come with the Meals on Wheels that they got, and they sent them over to Mom. So I'm going to use them before they need to be thrown away. They're 1 ounce packages, so that one's actually been opened. So 2 of them should be a quarter cup. I just liked the sound of this. Here's the hot water. I'm going to make this into a dough, and then I'm going to spread the quick mix out to, or the Bisquick out, like it says, to knead it and roll it. I actually, at one point in time, worked at a couple pizza places. One of the ones I worked at, they were both nationwide chains. One that I worked at actually threw their dough, and I can do that. Not sure with the way my chest is, but I used to be able to throw dough. The other place used a roller. Both works. Just depends on what you prefer. I like throwing dough. It's kind of a soothing thing. I'm going to go grab Mom and see if I can get her to help me if I've got to knead this. Got this mixed up, the dough mixed up. Mom said she was going to come out and help me knead it. I'm going to start it. She's washing her hands. It called for a quarter cup of water and a quarter cup of sour cream for the liquid in this. I ended up using almost 1/3 of a cup of water, but I've got a good texture to the dough now. It wasn't sticking together. Mom is here. She's going to run it for now. Let me read the instructions. Knead 5 times, so it's kneaded. Roll into a round. It said knead
Right
5
there.
times. I've already kneaded it 5 times.
Sorry.
Sorry. I didn't read the instructions. So now it needs to be rolled into a 14-inch round.
That's the first thing I told you.
Yes, I know. First thing you told me. I need to get this cleared so I can roll this because, well, it could. I'm just not going to leave it. This is actually what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the back as an indicator. It looks like we're going to be just barely big enough. I'm going to get a scraper and roll this around the rolling pin and put it in there. That's the way Mom always did pie crust. So there's our first pie. I'm gonna get some sauce in it. Yeah, Mom's telling me I've got to pull it.
And just let it go down a little.
Pizza is the Italian word for pie. And I'm using a white and Alfredo here. I really like the texture of this dough with that sour cream, and I'm sure I'd like the flavor. Mom grated the cheese because I forgot. She did about roughly 6 or 8 ounces of mozzarella. Should be enough for 2 pizzas. You just got to find it. Put the cheese first. I actually was pretty good at making pizzas at one time. I actually enjoyed making them. I'm going to use a spoon to do these onions because they're dehydrated and they're in liquid, not dry or fresh. Okay, Mom picked up some small pepperoni that I'm going to use on this one. This is a Hormel pack, and it's just these small pepperoni. I'm going to put those in sausage on with mushrooms and olives on this one. These are really greasy. Their shelf life, which is probably why they don't have to be refrigerated. So they're definitely greasy. Me and my hands not liking anything sticky on them. I've got them washed. Didn't do a lot of olives, so that's as many as I'm going to put on. There are a lot of mushrooms. These are canned. I've used fresh and canned, depending on where I've cooked, and they both end up tasting great on the finished pizza. Just going to do a little more cheese and close this up. Where did it go? There it is.
Or does it need to be?
Yeah, it's going to need to be on a pan. I'm just going to close this up. I didn't even preheat 400, so I got to preheat the oven. I'll trim that and put it on a pan. I'm going to preheat this. I'm going to make the other dough, and I'll get back to it as I'm getting the other one ready. A cool little thing. This is the calzone maker that Mom has. She actually gave me a smaller one that's a dumpling maker. I think it's about 6 or 7 inches, where this is 12. I folded it over and pressed it closed. It's not wanting to hold closed. It's going to take... No, I didn't dampen the dough, but she didn't tell me that first, just now. So I'll get that...
I just expect you to know everything.
So I'll get that. It's just a cool little device, but we'll get the glue get the water to get the dough stuck together and get it on a pan, and then make more. I've made this one vegetarian, all but the cheese. And the cheese is not vegan cheese, it's just regular mozzarella. My dad was a cheese maker, so cheese is definitely a staple in my diet, even though we didn't always have it when he was making cheese, because he did have to buy it still. I have a little bit of leftover crust. I'm going to do something with that. Also, I sprayed the edge of this so that it would come off easier, and I'm going to wet a finger and go over the edges so that the dough sticks to itself. Going to play around with this leftover dough, get these in the oven. Okay, there we got it. There's the calzone. This isn't a beautiful ball of mozzarella, it's just a block. However, should work. Should taste as good. It's still soft and fall apart and hard to cut, just like the balls. The balls are smaller though, so easier to deal with sometimes. I'm just putting some mozzarella and some medium cheddar on its way to sharp on this one. No sauce or anything, just a little bit of cheese for this one. I'm going to put it on the pan with the others. This is the two. This one is the one with the meat, and this is the vegetarian one. I guess I'll leave that mushroom. And I'm just going to fold this over, make cheese. Just made like a wallet, a little pocket right there. The oven is ready. This is going to go in for 20 to 25 minutes. I'll check it at 20. Again, this was from the Bisquick cookbook, and it was the Cowboy Barbecue Chicken Pizza was the crust that I made. This is the cookbook I used. It's one of Mom's. She's got part of a box for the recipes on it. But that's the dinner. Here's the apple crisp. I gotta find a place in the fridge for that. And we're gonna have white sauce calzones for dinner. These are the calzones. This one I didn't get as close to the end as I should have, and so my little wallet in the middle overflowed. I'm going to use a scraper to get that one out, and then I'm going to cut the other two, probably 3-4 pieces each. They're pretty good sized. Just as far as I can recall, I'm the first and only person that's ever used that calzone maker. In the future, I probably wouldn't do it because it's just as easy to just roll it out, fold it over, and I'm not as worried about having a perfect half circle because you know what, a triangle, a square, anything is still edible, but that's just me. And it's just one more thing to have in your kitchen that you don't really need. People have probably been making calzones for centuries without having something that folds it over, and it was actually kind of difficult to get the dough out of, etc., etc. But that's them. This is the one with meat. This is the vegetarian one. They both look fabulous. I'm going to eat later. I need to cool off. I don't do well eating right after I've been in the kitchen and the oven. Sorry, just turned that off. And we're going to dim the lights and fade to black. Thanks for watching Perhaps Cooking. Feel free to share, give me a thumbs up, or subscribe.